Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. The Constitution for Business is a package of business-friendly regulations which come into effect from today. The country's lawmakers passed the law in January to make the lives of entrepreneurs easier.
The new regulations, drafted by the country's conservative government and collectively referred to as a Constitution for Business, were voted for by the upper house of the legislature and signed by President Andrzej Duda to take effect on April 30. The Constitution for Business aims to simplify the procedures required for people setting up and running their own businesses. The new rules include a presumption of entrepreneurial honesty and a principle of friendly interpretation of regulations, under which any doubts will be resolved in favor of the entrepreneur. The general rule in business will be that everything which is not forbidden is allowed. The package is designed to allow small-time entrepreneurs to run businesses without the need to register it if their monthly income is less than half the national minimum wage. This could benefit around 75,000 people. The aim is to reduce the unregistered, tax-evading segment of the economy receiving undeclared cash payments. Budding businessmen will be given special startup incentives by being exempted from paying social security contributions for the first 6 months. For the next 2 years, they will be able to take advantage of more preferential treatment as part of the so-called small social insurance program. Some 200,000 business people will be able to benefit from this new measure every year, according to officials.
Even though the election campaign is yet to begin, the candidates for the president of Warsaw are already fighting for votes. So far, the only candidate considered realistically electable by Warsawians is Patryk Jaki, a member of the Unified Right. His closest rival is Rafał Trzaskowski of the Civic Platform Party. The elections will take place at the end of the year.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I win the election, I promise to start an initiative in my first week, which will guarantee the construction of 50 new kindergartens. I am fully aware of the fact that the Warsawians are tired of going from town hall to town hall, searching for a place for their kids.
Żeby mieszkańcy tego miasta odbijali się od urzędu do urzędu.
Yesterday, Jaki's closest rival, Rafał Trzaskowski from Civic Platform, spoke on Twitter and proposed a debate. Patryk Jaki will promise the Warsawians everything tomorrow, for example parking places which we are constructing to free the squares of parked vehicles. I propose we meet in a debate about European funds, which the city of Warsaw is going to lose because of Jaki. Let's talk on May 2nd, the day of the announcement of the proposed EU budget. Patryk Jaki accepted the invitation, although he stressed the importance of using concrete facts and realistic ideas in the debate.
Tak, ja wiem, że Rafał Trzaskowski złożył wczoraj propozycję debaty.
Yes, I know that Trzaskowski proposed a debate yesterday. He proposed the main subject for the debate, which you could describe as why Patryk Jaki is so bad. I propose another debate to him, a debate on the first day of the election campaign, so we could discuss all the important issues that the city of Warsaw needs to face.
To podpowiadają, ale proponuję debatę o wszystkich problemach Warszawy.
According to Radosław Żydok of the Republikańska Foundation, this year's election campaign will be a tough fight.
Kampania warszawska będzie bardzo ostra.
This year's elections will be a tough fight, mostly because there are huge businesses involved. On one side we have Patryk Jaki with the verification committee, and on the other the people behind the reprivatization scandal and the community of real estate agents and developers.
I to lobby nie będzie chciało stracić w Warszawie władzy, która je popiera.
The elections will take place at the end of October or at the beginning of November.
The European Union is planning to stop providing financial aid to those countries which they deem to be breaking the rule of law. Poland and Hungary are top of their list, which could lead to further undesirable tensions between Warsaw and Brussels.
Negotiations of the EU budget are due to take place on Wednesday. It is already known that the regulations concerning the rule of law and funding have been made more rigorous. The EU Commission did not make the information about expenditures in the new budget public. Unofficial sources say that early drafts were vetoed by some member states, so the project is still in a developmental stage. Brussels is expected to propose heavy cuts to countries such as Poland and Hungary, which the EU deems to pose a threat to to judicial independence. This comes as a bit of a shock, considering how Poland is one of few countries which actually meet the Union's quota for deposits in the collective budget. Though the move is likely to cause a flare-ups in both Warsaw and Budapest, the European Commission plans to introduce regulations allowing it to withhold the monetary aid. Understanding the new political needs, we are open to the EU budget reform. However, we will not allow for discriminatory changes at the expense of developmental interests of our region. The Commission is yet to reveal what exactly will constitute a blacklisting of particular countries. However, those that do find themselves in such a predicament would not be relieved of the EU budget obligations. The Commission made a formal warning that there was a clear risk of a serious breach of the rule of law in Poland, based on the judicial reform enacted in the country.
The Parliamentary Regulations Commission has passed a new act which will cut MPs and senators' salaries by 20%. The second hearing will take place next week at the sitting of the Parliament. Leader of the ruling Law and Justice Party, Jarosław Kaczyński, decided to reduce MPs' pensions following the controversy surrounding ex-Prime Minister Beata Szydło's allocation for financial bonuses.
Members of the opposing civic platform and modern parties stayed true to their words and did not take part in the vote, arguing that the project of the bill is nothing but a political slogan to gain votes. They also say that the cut is a punishment for the financial bonuses given by Beata Szydło. Members of the ruling Law and Justice Party defend their decision by saying that they are simply listening to the people. They argue that it is human to make mistakes and important to learn from them. The Law and Justice Party is putting out the fire which they started by handing out financial bonuses for their ministers. Now Jarosław Kaczyński shows his teeth and says that not everybody deserved the premiums. This is pure demagogy. All they do is play on human emotions. Maybe it's not such a big difference for Warsaw, where people statistically earn more money. However, it does make a difference for the people who live in small towns and villages. Aside from our earnings, we get free plane tickets, free hotels, and other privileges. We are generally in much better situation than those who earn less. It only seems fair to try and level with them.
The politicians, the media and the voters all said that they want the salaries of the MPs and the senators to be lower. We care about the opinion of the people, so that's why we did it. There is nothing more to say.
The MPs and senators will from now on earn approximately 8,000 zlotys per month, and the cut will save the state around 13 million zlotys a year.
Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm John Carter, and Poland Daily returns same time tomorrow. Good night.